away in the ocean off Kelligrews.
Yeah, authorities were called after reports that someone went through the ice. Here Now's Ryan Cook is live at the scene. So Ryan, bring us up to speed. What do we know?
Well, things have quieted down here quite a bit since police were called earlier today. They received a report around noon that a person was out on the ice and then they were no longer seen. Conditions at the time were pretty poor, but rovers were brought in. A Coast Guard ship joined the search soon after that, and around 4 o'clock, a JRCC Cormorant helicopter was brought in from Gander. That helicopter left here about a half an hour ago, will not be returning tonight. Crews say that they will stay here until around dark. As of right now, there has not been a missing persons report filed. However, they are working with the town to try and see if everybody is accounted for here. Here's what Constable Jeff Higdon had to say earlier.
The individual couldn't see the person up close, but there was a good information provided by the person who reported it to us. So we're working on that, and like I said, we don't have a whole lot at this point. Hopefully it turns out to have been a false alarm.
Now, we spoke with people up and down this street here earlier. A local resident told us that yesterday there were about 10 people out on the ice here. He said that people had been flat out playing on the ice here. Another person told us that she was here taking photos around the same time that a call was made to police. She said she didn't see anybody out on the ice, but she did see an eagle perched on an ice pan out there. Could it be the same? We'll have to wait and see.
Well, the bleak reality of what's unfolding in the province's fishery is beginning to hit home for those who depend on the industry for a livelihood. It's taking an especially hard toll on those in the processing sector. A just released record-setting price of $4.39 for a pound of crab help offset some of the pain for harvesters, but with such little shellfish expected to be landed, will mean a lot less work for plant workers. Now, here now's Terry Roberts. He has been following this story from the beginning. Bring us up to speed, Terry.
Well, Debbie, here's the harsh reality, really, of what's happening in the processing sector. Now, let's start with shrimp, the hardest hit area. Last year, there were 8 plants processing shrimp in this province. There's a plant in St. Anthony that can nearly process the entire quota this year on its own. That's because the total allowable catch off the northeast coast is down by 60%. That means much less work for everybody, and in all likelihood, some outright plant closures. Now, one plant worker in St. Anthony said she worked an incredible 132 consecutive days at the plant a few years ago. This year, she doesn't expect to qualify for EI benefits.
You could see me right now. I'm shivering in my shoes because of what I know that's coming. It's just devastation.
Now, that plant usually employs about 100 people, and it used to operate for 25, 30 weeks a year, and many more spin-off jobs. Now, with these cuts, workers will be lucky to get 10 weeks this year with crab and shrimp combined. And worst, half the shrimp plants on the island and in Labrador are on the Northern Peninsula, Debbie.
That is absolutely devastating news. Terry, are other places in the province going to be hit this hard?
Well, yeah, those 8 plants, they're facing a similar situation, including on Fogo Island, where the Fogo Island Co-op is located. Workers there expect fewer hours, and the general manager is predicting some bleak days ahead.
We've gone now from 11 million pounds of shrimp, that was 5 years ago, to now 2.5 million pounds of shrimp to go through the plant. So where we were at 5 years ago, we had 100 days work for 2 shifts. That's 14 weeks work. To now this year, 23 days work for 2 shifts.
Now there's one thing that might help alleviate some of the problem here, and that's the fact that most of the workers who work in these shellfish plants, there were about 5,000 of them last year. The average age, 58. So many of them are ready to be pensioners. So
Terry, all of this is very bad news. Does it have politicians scrambling to deal with this? Well, certainly so, Debbie. Conference call last night between Premier Dwight Ball, our Fisheries Minister Steve Crocker, and Federal Fisheries Minister Dominic LeBlanc. Of course, Ottawa sets those quotas. Now we're told LeBlanc will be coming to Newfoundland very soon. And as for the immediate response, Steve Crocker says he's met with processors. And just a few hours ago, he also met with a very unhappy Fisheries Union president, but the Premier is promising some help.
We recognise and know that it's going to require an investment from the provincial government with displaced workers, and we'll be there. We will be there supporting plant workers in this province. I can assure you that.
So, not a good time for this province. We already have low oil revenues, jobs disappearing, and of course, there's plenty of anxiety about Thursday's budget.
Indeed there is. Thanks so much, Terry, for all of this information this evening. Well, turning to other news now, a Marine Atlantic ferry delayed in North Sydney since Sunday is now stuck in ice just outside the Cape Breton town. The MV Highlanders couldn't make the Gulf crossing due to high winds and seas, and now those same winds have the vessel stuck in pack ice. If the ferry can't free itself, the Blue Puttees en route from Port aux Basques may try to cut a path for the Highlanders.
Well, this province has called in the police and the Auditor General over issues found in the Fisheries and Land Resources Department. Government says the internal inventory found that there were some anomalies. It's asked the Auditor General to conduct a formal audit. Minister Steve Crocker says he became aware of the problems when the department was restructured. Crocker said in a release that the issues are significant enough that he's called in the Auditor General and he's contacted the RCMP for an investigation.
When a major property developer in St. John's recently closed, it wasn't only a sign that it's no longer in business, it was a sign of a flat construction market. Last week, the Future Group, which includes Skymark Contracting and Skymark Renovations, applied for protection from its creditors. It seems the market for new homes is not what it was. Here now, Cease Hare has that story.
The party seems to be over when it comes to new home construction, and what a party it was. It all started about a decade ago. For example, in 2008, just over 1,400 new homes were built. That was a record. And those high numbers continued for about 7 years. Then the bottom went out of it. For example, last year, just over 600 new homes were built in the metropolitan St. John's area, just 600 plus, and that's a number that hasn't been seen in almost 2 decades.
I think that was a positive.
Chris Janes of the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation says the downward spiral in construction started when oil prices headed south. That's when people simply stopped building houses. And when you think of all of those jobs disappearing, all those paychecks disappeared too, including those who were commuting to Alberta, sending their checks home and coming home, and those who worked on mega projects in this province.
Last year was the first year that we've had flat employment growth here in the St. John's area. In Newfoundland, it's been trending negative now for a couple of years. So as some of these mega projects, such as the Hebron GBS out in Bullarm get clued up, obviously people are displaced and have to find work. So that's been a contributing factor to the provincial employment number.
Meanwhile, the Canadian Home Builders Association in this province says now is the time for government policies to focus on making homes more affordable for first-time buyers and seniors. Cease Hare, CBC News, St. John's.
Investigators are still trying to figure out what triggered a massive fire in Port-au-Port West early yesterday morning. Flames engulfed the Abbott and Halliburton Home Building Center on the town's main road, starting just around 5 a.m. The building is considered historic, having opened in 1885. Firefighters fought the blaze for hours. Nobody was injured.
Well, now to the weather and the question on top of everyone's mind in central Newfoundland tonight. When will this blizzard finally break? The high winds and heavy snow have not let up in Gander, but there are signs of spring if you look around. Here now's Chris Ensing reports.
The morning started off blustery at best. Spring's most recent blast, snow piling up. But by noon, a different scene. Yeah, I didn't expect this either. But Daniel Freak and Dylan Penny wanted to take advantage of what's now a 5-day weekend.
You see what's around you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys decided baseball. Why baseball?
Well, the season just started, so yeah, opening season, yeah.
What I'm behind you here?
Just because, I guess, long awaited in the spring. Doesn't look like it's coming anytime soon, but...
He laughs because what he told me next could make you cry.
We were in Florida for a week, came back. I've burned more gas since last Thursday than I did all winter.
No.
Yeah.
And look at this. This is some significant snow. 125 centimeters fell in 6 days, blanketing a neighborhood of seniors' homes.
It's been like that now for 2 days.
She's had enough.
It's terrible. I can't even see out of my windows inside.
Down the street, Peter Tisdall is doing all he can. Doors clean, but we'll have to trust him that there's a window here. All this snow, but not a single complaint from him.
Well, there's nothing you can complain about. They're doing the best they can with the equipment they've got. They've got snow blowers, and as you can see, they're trying to keep a path open for emergency sake.
And finally, Arthur Rogers, with his one-man war against Goliath snowdrifts. Even with the promise of snow clearing on the way, he shovels on at 70 years old.
I do just on my own, yeah.
Why would you do that? Why?
Just something to do.
The good news, this is supposed to stop tomorrow, but just like these mountains of snow, we'll believe it when we see it. Chris Hensing, CBC News, Gander.
And we'll have the very latest from Carolyn on what is expected in Central. That's coming up very shortly. Now, if you live in downtown St. John's, there are only a few days left before you can start parking on the street again. The city is lifting the winter street parking ban a half hour past midnight Friday night. The ban is put in place at the beginning of every winter to help with snow clearing efforts.
While Caitlin Osmond is back home, she arrived in Edmonton last night with the silver medal she won at the World Figure Skating Championships. Family and friends were there to greet the Marystown native. The medal caps a season that was in doubt when Osmond broke her leg back in 2014 after back-to-back Canadian championships. She struggled through last season, but this year she was back in form and regained her national title in January. And still with sports, Brad Gouju's Team Canada extended its winning streak yesterday with wins in both of its games. The team sits atop the leaderboard with 5 wins and no losses. Canada is playing China at this hour, and we can tell you that China has scored 2 in the first end to take an early 2-0 lead. This is the first time Team Canada has been behind in a long time.
Early in the game yet. Well, the controversial goal that decided the Herder Hockey Championship on the weekend will stand. That's the decision of Hockey Newfoundland and Labrador, the governing body of senior hockey in this province. This goal has been talked about extensively since Sunday. During the championship game between the Conception Bay Seabees and the Clarenville Caribous, the puck slid under the side of the Caribous net. It was ruled a goal, giving the Seabees the lead and ultimately the Herder Memorial Championship. The Caribous wanted HNL to reverse the referee's decision. Here's what Hockey NL President Jack Lee is saying tonight through a statement. Most amateur leagues across the country don't have video review technology or goal judges to assist on disputed goals. Lee says the rules were followed in this case, according to Don Kelly, the referee-in-chief for Hockey NL. And Lee goes on to say that video shows the goaltender accidentally displaced the net off its mooring, allowing the puck to enter the net illegally. The final decision, says Lee, rests with game officials, and they say the goal counts.
Well, Here and Now's Driven series on dangerous driving is changing lanes and moving from the TV into the classroom. Today, students at St. Kevin's High School in the Goulds took part in a presentation on dangerous driving, the first of several planned for local schools. Our own Zach Gowdy, who you can see there, was there to lead the discussion, along with police officers, firefighters, and paramedics. They also got to hand out some money. The Automobile Dealers Association of Newfoundland and Labrador sponsored a $1,000 scholarship. Students were asked to make a 1-minute video about the biggest problem they see on the roads. The winner was Anna Clark for her video on texting while driving.
Texting while driving. Is it a problem? Yes, it is.
That's why I'm really happy that in the car you can use the radio to change it to hands-free calling, but even then it's still bad because your attention is on the person calling, not on the road. I believe that when you're in the car, it should be all on the pedestrians, all on the people driving, and it should just be focused on the road.
Well, another day, another polar bear. This latest one came ashore and is hanging around Bonavista Bay, checking out the local ball field, amongst other things. More on that after the break.
And later, we'll explore the relationship between declining fish stocks and the changing climate.
They're sprucing up Confederation Building and getting ready for Budget 2017. How are the Liberals going to spend your money? Join me, Anthony Germain, for Budget 2017. Our CBC News team will tell you everything that's important in Kathy Bennett's second budget. Also, Chartered Accountant Larry Short is going to join us with his analysis, and he'll take your questions live on Facebook. So tune in, 2 o'clock Island time, for a CBC special, Budget 2017.
Time to bring in Carolyn, who's taking a close look at the weather. And Carolyn, I guess a lot of people I've been hearing complaining here in St. John's about how spring never seems to arrive, but I guess Gander is really there to make us all feel a little bit better. It's like, okay, this is bad, but it could be a whole lot worse.
It certainly could. 65 centimeters is what this particular storm brought to Gander, and they broke a record for snow depth, 237 centimeters high, so that's like 7.5 feet. And the old record was 174 back in 2004, so about 63 centimeters in difference there. And if you need proof of how high the snow is, just have a look at this photograph right here. This is in Plate Cove. This is Mary Keogh. Tracy Keogh sent us this photo. This is her mother, and that's how she's getting into her house right now.
Oh my heavens.
That actually kind of looks
doorway.
like fun, you know. Now it's like a snow fort.
I don't think she'd say it's fun.
No, not a whole lot of people having too much fun trying to get into their houses right now. So let's have a look to see what's on the way. Snow is, if you can believe it, actually going to end in Central. Should be over by tomorrow. And the temperatures will be rising for many places on the island and in Labrador as the week goes on. And we have a wet weekend coming that could take a bit of a dent out of all the snow that's on the ground. These are some of the watches and warnings in place. There's still a blizzard warning in effect for Gander and Bonavista North and Bay of Exploits. So that snow will continue overnight. And there's also this special weather statement here, and that's about the winds, really. The winds are coming in from the north, really, really strong. And you know, all that ice that's on the shoreline right now, that's pushing all of the ice packs closer to shore. So there's a warning about ice pressure in those areas for this evening. These are how the temperatures are looking tonight, -2 in St. John's. Some flurries, about 2 to 4 centimeters expected tonight. And of course, the snow in Gander, nice and clear over on the west coast, -8 in Corner Brook. And Labrador, it's still lovely up there now. It's quite cold, but at least it is clear. A little bit of snow coming on the way a little bit later, though. So this is the situation right now. You can see all the snow that's across Gander, right across the coast there over to St. John's. That is going to be moving out overnight tonight, and we'll have a nice, somewhat clear day, a mix of sun and cloud that's coming. And then as Wednesday evening pulls in, you can see some of the snow that's going to be coming through on Lab West there. But for tomorrow, we could see some flurries in the morning in St. John's and on the Avalon Peninsula, but really just have a look at this. It's some sunshine and some cloud, and it could be 4 degrees in Corner Brook tomorrow, so that's not bad. And Labrador is looking lovely as well, with lots of sunshine and some flurries that will be moving into Lab City there tomorrow evening. So this is how St. John's is going to be looking tomorrow. We'll start off the day -2 with some flurries. The winds will be fairly strong, 40 to 60 coming in from the north, but that should clear off in the afternoon, and the sunshine should come out a little bit, and temperatures will go up slightly to 1 degree and then dip back down in the evening to -2 with a mix of sun and clouds. So as I mentioned earlier, there is some wet weather that is on the way around the weekend, so I'll get into that in the long-range forecast coming up a little later.
Thanks, Carolyn. Maybe they're getting a little too comfortable, but we have more polar bear shots for you today. And these animals aren't on the ice where you usually see them. This is what Shelley Ryan spotted in Melrose, Bonavista Bay. Not sure what this polar bear had in mind, but it sure seems interested in the shed and the snowmobile. I'm not sure that seat's going to last very long. And we're not sure if it's the same one, but this polar bear found its way onto the local ball field in Port Union, less than 3 kilometers from Melrose. And all this polar bear movement has prompted warnings for people. If you see one of the animals, do what you can to stay away from it. And if it spots you, remain calm, give it space, and a route to get away. And no matter what, don't get caught between a bear and its cubs.
Magnificent animal, but you don't want to get caught between a bear and its cubs. Now, spotting polar bears this time of the year isn't that unusual. We'll take you back a couple of decades tonight to a time when one was spotted on a cliff in St. John's. This is from 1993. A polar bear was stuck on a cliff at Kitty Vitty, and you can see what a precarious spot it was in. Conservation officials tranquilized the bear, put ropes around it, and tried to lower the bear into a boat. Good plan, but the poor animal fell out of the ropes and into the water. Rescuers eventually hauled the bear into the boat, and it was shipped to Red Bay, Labrador. Much more hospitable polar bear location.
While fish stocks and the climate. Up next, we ask a climate change expert to weigh in on what's causing this decline in the shrimp and crab stocks. Welcome back to Here and Now, and back now to one of our top stories. The quota cuts in the shrimp and crab fisheries. While the FFAW says such drastic measures aren't needed, a scientist studying climate change says reducing fishing is definitely necessary. Here Now's Mark Quinn spoke with MUN professor Brad DeYoung and started by asking him about the recent quota cuts.
I mean, it's really the only tool we have that we directly control that influences the ocean. We remove large numbers of fish from the ocean, and so our response when we see a reduction in stock is to slow down that rate of mortality, fishing mortality. And it's the right thing to do, but it doesn't always work quite as we hope it should, because what we'd like to see is then the stock rebound. But back to that 7-year cycle for cod, it takes a long time for ground fish, not quite so long for shrimp for sure, somewhere in between for crab, but it's not like the turning your light on at home. When you hit the switch at home, the light immediately comes on. When you reduce fishing mortality, the stocks don't immediately rebound. And we're often very impatient, so we don't always wait long enough to see the benefits.
And I think that when the moratorium was brought in place, people expected the cod stocks to rebound more quickly than they have. Has ocean temperature played a role in the slower, perhaps, rebound?
Probably, although what careful analysis of stocks around the world has shown is that expectation is wrong. It really does take, on average, a much longer time than people thought. If you think of that 7 years, if it takes 7 years for the population to kind of reform, then you might expect that it would take a few cycles of those 7 years cycles before, or a few of those 7 year cycles before you really saw this rebounding. And so, right now we're, 10, 20, 25 years from that moratorium. So it's really not shocking that it has taken several of those cycles, but it is also true that through the 90s and through the late 90s and then for the last 10 or 15 years, temperatures have been warmer than average. And so probably ocean conditions were not so favorable, and so the combination of just, yes, it really does take a long time, plus conditions were not so favorable for the recovery.
How do you square what scientists say they're seeing with what the fishermen say they're seeing?
It's a perennial kind of question, and I think it is important that we look at both pieces of information. I don't think either one is right or wrong. They're just part of the whole story. But if you do go back to the early 90s, just before the moratorium, catch rates for northern cod were high. The thing is that fishermen know where the fish aggregate, and so they're pretty good at finding them, and they typically do still aggregate. And so if they're in, a big school, then you're going to find catch rates are really good. The question is whether it's getting harder to find those fish, whether you have to steam more. And so you really do have to look at how fishermen are harvesting to really understand what that catch rate information tells you. And you then have to, on the other side, look at what scientists have done, whether they've really mapped out where all the fish are, whether they've looked at that same question. And so you'd need to dig a little deeper than just there's lots of fish, there are no fish. It's never quite as simple a story as that.
When we come back, we'll return to the downturn in the market for new homes.
We have some breaking news to tell you about. Police are on the scene at the Subway near Churchill Square investigating a robbery. The Subway restaurant has been robbed twice in the last several weeks. A short time later, at another location on Elizabeth Avenue, the K9 squad and several police vehicles were slowing traffic. And not too long ago, 2 people were placed in the back of a police cruiser. We'll give you any updates as we get them throughout tonight's show.
Last week, Skymark Contracting and Renovations sought bankruptcy protection. That's just one more sign that tough economic times mean the home building market in St. John's continues to struggle. Earlier today, Here Now Cease Hair spoke with Craig Janes of the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. Here's part of their conversation.
What's going on in the marketplace right now?
Well, when we look at what's happening in the housing market in particular, Cease, it's been under pressure now since about 2013. So when we go back to when oil started coming off in mid-2014, we've seen the housing market come off over that period as well. So housing starts year over year have been down on average 20% from that high. Prices are under pressure as well.
Let's go back to 10 years ago. At its peak, how good was the new home construction market in this St. John's metropolitan area?
Yeah, well, the housing market, the last cycle we just came through started really back in 2007. And we had very strong year-over-year growth over that period.
How strong at that point?
Housing starts actually went as high as just over 1,800 here in the St. John's area.
And was that a record?
That was a record, yeah. And that wasn't sustainable, so we had a lot of pent-up demand that got filled. And then as the price of oil has come off and the economy has come off somewhat, we've seen that trickle down now to under 1,000 the last 3 years.
Under 1,000.
Yeah.
Let's go back to 10 years ago. How long did that peak last?
That peak lasted from about 2007 through to about 2012. And then our first decline was 2013 for new home construction. And as I said, we've been trending down since then.
So when a downward spiral begins like that, was it just the price of oil? What were the other factors that contributed to this downward trend in new home construction?
Yeah, I mean, the price of oil is a key contributing factor. Obviously, we're an oil-based, resource-based economy, but we also have to look at population trends, income trends, employment trends. So all those things have been flat or negative over the past few years. So, you know, in addition to oil, the overall economic and demographic fundamental picture that we look at CMHC has not been positive. So that's been a contributing factor as well.
And what happened on the employment scene?
Well, last year was the first year that we've had flat employment growth here in the St. John's area. In Newfoundland, it's been trending negative now for a couple of years. So as some of these mega projects, such as the Hebron GBS out in Bull Arm get clued up, obviously people are displaced and have to find work. So that's been a contributing factor to the provincial employment number. And here in the St. John's area, we all know we've seen pressure from government layoffs as well. Not just provincial government, but even at some municipal level governments as well. We've seen some pressure there. And then just throughout the broader economy, you know, engineers who were working on oil and gas projects were let go over the past couple of years. And the good news is some of them have now been rehired. So there has been some positivity, but overall it's been a negative trend now for a couple of years.
Speaking of this 3.5, 4 year window of late that the downward spiral has occurred, what about the Alberta influence? I know for years many people were doing the commute back and forth out west. Did that have an impact as well on the housing market, new home construction market in this area?
Yes, it did. Not only people who were building homes for themselves who were commuting back and forth to Alberta, but people who were actually building homes to sell. So a lot of these guys were involved in new home construction. When they were back on their time off, had started companies and were building spec homes to complete the sale. So it affected both sides of that market, and we saw some pressure there as well.
Well, this Sunday marks a century since the Battle of Vimy Ridge began in northern France. And over the decades, some soldiers' stories have been told more than others. But one woman wants Canadians not to forget her Métis great-grandfather's contribution during the First World War. Briar Stewart has more.
Marilyn Buffalo first heard the name Henry Norwest when she was a little girl, as she listened to her grandmother recount stories about her own father.
Last thing she remembers is A very handsome man came to bid her goodbye at the residential school, and that was her dad.
Back then, Henry Norwest was a Métis father of 3. On his enlistment papers, he described himself as a cowpuncher by trade or ranch hand. He was part of Calgary's 50th Battalion and shone as a sniper.
This is the Ross rifle.
His rifle is on display at a military museum in Calgary.
He had the upbringing, the hunting skills to be able to move with great stealth.
Norwest was awarded a military medal for his sniping at Vimy Ridge in 1917, which records said saved a great number of men's lives. He went off to fight in other battles throughout France, but just 3 months before the war ended, Norwest was shot and killed. Inscribed on his grave marker at the time, 115 for his confirmed number of hits. Today, Norwest's legacy is honored as part of an exhibit in Edmonton, yet his story is still relatively unknown.
This is the part of the history, our contribution to the world, the British Empire, 100 years ago.
Buffalo hopes more Canadians get a chance to learn about her great-grandfather and his contribution as a celebrated Métis marksman. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Edmonton.
Let's continue with the forecasting, and Carolyn, the long range, there's a bit of a warm-up coming.
Yeah, a little bit.
So does that mean flooding? Like, is this, sorry, I can't just let us enjoy it. I
Well,
gotta always find the downside, you know.
I suppose people should maybe keep an eye out because there is so much snow down. And
for drains and
yeah,
everything,
drains
I guess.
are blocked, and so depending on how much rain we get, it's still early days now, but depending on how much rain we get, particularly central areas, you know, you may want to keep an eye on it. So have to wait and see as the week goes on, I guess. So let's have a quick look at current temperatures across the country right now. Some lovely spring-like temperatures, of course, in the western part of Canada. Fort Mac, 7 degrees at the moment. Thunder Bay, 13 degrees. A little bit closer to home, some temperatures in Atlantic Canada, 7 degrees in Fredericton right now, and Halifax is sitting at 6, so some nice mild temperatures happening there at the moment. Again, here are some of the warnings that are in place. Still a blizzard warning in effect for Gander, Bonavista North, and Bay of Exploits. That's probably going to stay in place throughout the night. Snow is expected to stop in the morning, so it's almost over. And there is a special weather statement in effect for the northerly winds that are pushing the ice, pack ice into the shores there. So some increased ice pressure expected there. So this is the snow that's causing all the trouble for Gander, and you can see that we're getting some of it in St. John's as well, about 2 to 4 centimeters this evening, but that is going to be moving out overnight. You can see it disappearing. So then we're going to get a bit of a break throughout Wednesday, mix of sun and cloud, and over in Labrador tomorrow evening, that's when some of the flurries are going to start moving in there to Lab City and all of Lab West there. So tomorrow is looking pretty nice. There's going to be some lingering flurries in the morning as that system moves away on the Avalon Peninsula. 1 degree expected tomorrow. Gander, a mix of sun and cloud, and -1 as the high there. In Corner Brook, 4 degrees and a mix of sun and cloud. So that's sounds like a nice day tomorrow on the west coast, and really nice across Labrador. Cooler temperatures, 0 in Nain, -2 in Lab City, and those flurries starting to move in there in the evening time. So Thursday, overnight, early Thursday morning, you can see the snow moving across Labrador, but that does start to dissipate a bit. Pretty heavy cloud cover there you can see moving into Thursday evening. Still the cloud cover there, so we're going to be seeing some sunshine as well and some nice mild temperatures. Just 1 degree in St. John's and 5 though for central Newfoundland, so that's nice, and 4 degrees on the west coast there. And eastern Labrador, 3, mostly cloudy skies expected there, and a chance of flurries in western Labrador, and 2 as the high. So then as we move further along in the week, closer to the weekend, you can see this next system that's coming up through, and it's going to bring some snow and some rain. This is Friday at 11 a.m. It's just going to kind of hit the province then, starting from the west, moving east. So some rain or snow on the west coast of the island. 7 degrees as the high there, so that's nice. Periods of snow in western Labrador, and that system will bring snow across Labrador as well, eastern Labrador. 3 degrees and a chance of flurries and some showers in central Newfoundland. And it won't hit St. John's until a little bit later, not until Saturday. You can see here 8 degrees on Saturday with some rain, and rain right across the island on Saturday, but nice mild temperatures, 10 degrees in central. And on the weekend, you're going to see a mix of snow and rain in Labrador, and in western Labrador, some flurries there, and it will clear off nicely though by the end of the weekend, and some more showers coming on Tuesday. So at the end of the show, I will have your viewer picture of the day.
Time to meet our athlete of the day. This is Lexi Burry from Gander. Lexi is 7 years old. She's been a member of the Silver Jets Figure Skating Club for the past 3 years.
Yeah, she also participates in dance, swimming, and plays soccer with the Gander Minor Soccer Association. And we hear that she's never on the ice without that winning smile.
And we can see it right there. Keep it up, Lexi. Congratulations on being chosen as our young athlete of the day.
Well, doctors are finally able to explain an illness that has put a 10-year-old boy in and out of hospital his entire life. It's a brand new disease, and we'll give you details after the break. Welcome back to Here and Now. He's a little boy who helped make history, a 10-year-old who's been in and out of hospital for his entire life. His illness has been unexplained until now. Doctors at Toronto's Sick Kids Hospital say it's a brand new disease and there's hope for a cure. Christine Burak has the story.
Daniel Nevin Salvadore seems wise beyond his years. At just 10, he's battled more illnesses, infections, and disease than most others face over a lifetime. It all started with a routine trip to hospital when Daniel was just a baby.
I just thought someone was going to tell me that he had the flu. And I remember sort of going into the room where he was, and there must have been about 10 people just over him, and he had tubes and he had oxygen masks.
Doctors said Daniel had suffered a stroke, had a blood clot in his brain, and for years to come he would suffer with one serious infection after another, causing blistering rashes and swelling all over his body, often so painful he couldn't walk. Doctors didn't understand it, and one of the toughest parts for Daniel?
Probably getting bored by not knowing what they said, because I had no clue what they said. Absolutely no clue.
At Sick Kids Hospital, Daniel was seen by doctors specializing in blood, skin, the immune system, infectious diseases. No one could figure out what was causing his symptoms, including blood in his stool.
We were able to sequence his DNA, and from that we were able to identify a mutation in a specific gene that sort of explained all the symptoms that he had.
The problem was with his platelets. The tiny blood cells that help your body prevent bleeding were too small. Normal platelet spreads like a fried egg, but Daniel's had spikes all over it. Scientists discovered he lacked a protein that would spread his platelets, something researchers thought a human being couldn't survive without.
So it was really exciting, and it's what drives us in late hours of the night and in the laboratory to continue on what we like to do.
Along with Daniel, doctors have now diagnosed other patients around the world with the same condition. Experts say a bone marrow transplant could completely heal Daniel, but they need a donor match. Another challenge Daniel is ready to take on. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
Observers say video and photos appearing on social media show what appears to be a chemical attack in Syria. There are a lot of disturbing images in the aftermath, but we've made a decision not to show you some of the worst. Much of this video is unverified, but some comes to us from the White Helmets, the civil defense group that works in opposition-controlled parts of Syria. The attack came in a rebel-held city in northwestern Syria. Reports say there are many dead, including a number of children.
Well, Fox News is in hot water again because of allegations of sexual harassment. Last time, top executive Roger Ailes had to step down because of them. Now it's top star Bill O'Reilly who's drawing fire and losing sponsors. Paul Hunter reports.
It is a super popular, mega money-making program for Fox News.
Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight.
And its host, Bill O'Reilly, is arguably the best-known TV personality on U.S. cable news. Now, another major advertiser is pulling its commercials from the show, BMW, following earlier pullbacks by Mercedes, Hyundai, and others, all citing allegations of sexual harassment against O'Reilly. Just yesterday, one-time Fox News contributor Wendy Walsh described O'Reilly's advances.
I simply said, "I'm sorry, I can't do that." And he immediately got defensive and said, "What do you mean? You think I'm going to attack you or something?"
After rebuffing him, she said she was soon no longer invited on Fox News. She now wants an independent investigation into Fox News. Her allegations are among those reported on the weekend by the New York Times, including that over time, 5 other women had been paid $13 million to settle harassment allegations against O'Reilly.
Fox News does not think that the anti-discrimination laws apply to them. They believe that they can just pay woman after woman to go away, and they can keep the harassers in place to victimize the next woman. No, just no. We all know this is wrong.
In a statement, O'Reilly said, "Just like other prominent and controversial people, I'm vulnerable to lawsuits from individuals who want me to pay them to avoid negative publicity," suggesting the settlements were made to protect his children from controversy. The complaints against O'Reilly follow other such allegations against former Fox News chief Roger Ailes, who lost his job over that last year. This week, another woman made more such allegations against Ailes. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Washington.
Well, the Supreme Court of the Netherlands has just upheld a ruling that the man accused of cyberbullying Amanda Todd can be extradited to Canada. 38-year-old Aidan Coban is currently in prison in the Netherlands. He was sentenced last month to nearly 11 years for online fraud and blackmail relating to the abuse of more than 30 young men and women. The Dutch Supreme Court ruled Coban can be sent to Canada, though it's unclear when. Coban faces multiple charges in Canada in relation to the online harassment of Amanda Todd. She was just 15 when she committed suicide in 2012.
Canada's national anthem is sparking more debate, this time in the Senate. Some senators are opposed to plans to change this line. The late Liberal MP Maurice Bélanger proposed to amend the national anthem with Bill C-120.
Yeah, it calls for that line in the anthem to be amended from in all thy sons command to all of us command to make it more gender neutral. Some senators say the change is clunky and grammatically incorrect. Bélanger's bill passed the House, but it still hasn't passed the third and final reading in the upper chamber.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, if you've ever wanted to feel like Godzilla, here's something for you. Wow, this is Gulliver's Gate, an interactive miniature world in New York. It features 300 cities across more than 4,500 square meters. All told, it cost more than $40 million to build this attraction. Just check out the miniature people.
Oh, we got the
such as
Beatles.
The Beatles. The size of actual beetles. There's even a 3D scanner to create tiny figurines of visitors so they can literally become part of the display.
After spending all that money, I think they'd really frown on you actually Godzillaing your way through here to try
I think so. They probably got guards for that.
enjoy from a distance. Well, the world's most valuable pink diamond was sold today for a whopping $71.2 million US.
Sold.
It's called the Pink Star, and it's the largest pink diamond ever sold at auction. The diamond sale broke the previous world auction by nearly $20 million US.
I was expecting it to be a lot bigger, $70-odd million, but wow.
Well, Debbie, maybe your husband was busy doing a little bit of shopping today. A surprise for you when you get home.
That would be a surprise.
Oh, that is gorgeous. Girl's best friend, I suppose. So let's just watch the snow move on out one more time. Hey, this is how Gander is looking at the moment with the snow cover, blizzard warning still in effect here, and scattered flurries over the Avalon Peninsula tonight. So that is just moving on out, and we're going to have a bit of cloud cover, but mostly some sunshine and some more flurries that will be moving in on early Thursday morning to Labrador West. And once again, here's how the picture is looking for tomorrow. So lots of sunshine on the island and in Labrador, maybe a few flurries in the morning. And this is our picture of the day. I thought we'd kind of move away from all of the heavy snow and have a look at Labrador. They have avoided much of the turmoil that has come with all of the snow the past few days.
So beautiful. And Peter, you spent a lot of time in Labrador, a number of years. You must have seen this.
Well, and it's nice this time of year because it's warm enough that you can go out and enjoy it. You won't freeze your nips off.
Yeah, thank you very much, Larry Jenkins. He says it's been a beautiful few days in Lab West.
Thanks for sure. And thank you for being with us. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.